Start this out here. Um, all right. I guess just to get a brief recap, could you sort of, I guess, summarize for me what you're looking to get out of a coaching session?
After the session, I'm looking to at least give me an idea of give me an idea of what to do in order to climb the ladder.
All right. And you said you were at a peak rank of silver two, but you got dropped down a bit, or
Correct?
okay. And how long ago did you drop down?
2 months,
Okay. Um, so how often are you playing ranked in that?
maybe 4 times a week.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Is that usually like in one solid burst, or do you have that kind of a spread out? How do you?
It's usually around 2 bursts.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry here. So you're playing, about twice a week. You're going through maybe what 4 games?
Yeah, around there.
Okay. Sorry here. Just 1 second. Something's messed up on my end. Amazing. Sorry about that, man.
Nah, no problem.
All right. Um. So I guess what do you think was the reason that you dropped down like that?
Oh yeah, I have 100% tilting. Just
Okay.
just getting frustrated with my team, with myself, and just not playing well.
All right. That's fair. I think everybody's been there. I know last season I went. I was right at silver two where you were, and tilted all the way down to silver five. And it hit a point where I just felt like I couldn't do anything right.
Yeah, I'm feeling that right now.
Yeah. um, and that's totally fair. So I'll just kind of give you a heads up that most of what I'm gonna talk about here, you can probably find from other streamers. I know Jibe, if you're familiar with him,
Yeah,
does
I
a lot
watched
of really
multiple.
good videos on this. But I take it you've watched some of those.
Yeah, I've watched a few.
Okay. Well, that's good. Have you seen the one he does about Elo Hell?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, the short version is he says, basically Elo Hell doesn't exist. There's just no way you can prove that it does. I mean, statistically, if you're doing everything right, you should have close to, I think he says, a 56% chance of winning, even if everything else was just totally random. Uh, and he does the math on that, like it really is a coin flip on whether or not your teammates are going to be good or bad.
Yeah, it's kind of how like I feel. Like on each ranked game I play,
Yeah.
it's either I do bad or a teammate of mine does bad, and you can't really I don't know I can't really predict what's gonna happen. So I do my best to carry,
Yeah.
but then eventually your teammate I don't want to say your teammate a lot because elo hell and whatnot, but your teammate does something bad, cost the game,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting there frustrated because you get demoted and stuff. That's pretty much my story.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really common story. Um, the fact of it is, like, you do have to kind of acknowledge that at the end of the day, most of it really just is a coin flip. Um, like, I think a lot of people, especially like in the silver area, because like I know when I was first going through it, right? I just climbed out of bronze, and I felt so happy with myself, right? Because that climb is hell to get out of bronze
Yeah.
4, which is where I was at.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and to go, from bronze 4 all the way up to silver 2 is where I was at before the tilt really came to me. Um, and then you just start like losing everything.
Yeah.
But I think as you sort of hit silver, a lot of people develop a bit of an ego, because you climbed out of Elo Hell, right? Like you're out of bronze. And I think people start to put way too much focus on winning the game instead of just like playing to improve or playing for fun even. So I think that's a common problem that a lot of people have.
Yeah, I think I have that problem sometimes. I mean, when I'm by myself, I just play normal to
Yeah.
improve. But I mean, that's like my thing. Like I do play rank to win, and I play normals to improve.
Yeah.
That's
And
just
like I did that for a while too. I think it's a bad attitude to have at the end of the day. Like cuz if you come in and you just try hard and think, I'm going to win this game or even I deserve to win this game, it gets very difficult to keep your attitude up when you start losing, even when it's not your fault. And then even worse, you start to take it out on your teammates.
oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
definitely been there where I think I deserve to win. Like I'm gonna use as an example.
Mhm.
I'm jungler. I'm not gonna go to specifics, but I'm jungling. All my lanes are behind, and I just pull out some incredible ganks, get us ahead, and then 50 minutes into the game, something bad happens, and it all goes downhill, and it just
Yeah.
gets me.
I mean, I've said some terrible things to people in game
Yeah,
before.
me too.
Like I am truly embarrassed at what this game has done to me at points. And I had to take a very long serious break for a while. Like it would get to me. And yep. Yeah, I mean the game would really get to me if I kept playing, kept grinding, and you lose a couple and you're like, oh well, maybe it's just bad luck or I couldn't win that one. But if you keep playing and keep hitting these losing streaks, like it hurts, and
It
I've
really
I've
does.
taken it out on people before. Um, so I quit for a long time, right? And I just kept doing draft normals, and I just kept spamming draft normals. And eventually, like, the anxiety I would get over PvP matches, like, stopped being there. Just, from spamming draft normals, right? And then from there, like, I had to learn that there's really no difference between ranked versus a draft normal. Like, you have to stop, like, playing ranked to rank up.
Mm.
And I think when people start doing that, you'll find it's a hell of a lot easier to climb the ladder. Like, because at the end of the day, you can't control what the other 4 people on your team or the other 5 people on their team are going to do. Like, and especially in bronze, silver, gold, like, your team is not going to be really an expert at picking team comps. Like, I just don't expect it.
Yeah, me either.
And even the advice I give to a lot of the students who will sign up, it's play what you're comfortable on. And so sometimes you're going to get a crappy team comp. It's just going to happen. But I guess sort of the best advice I can give you is to really focus only on your play and play the game solely to improve. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, if you're AD carry and you have the worst support, or if you're support and have the worst AD carry, like, you just kind of have to step back for a second and be like, it doesn't even matter who I'm paired with. Like, what are the mistakes that I'm making, and how can I improve what I'm doing in this game for the next time?
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I try to do that sometimes. I should say most times.
Yeah,
Like, I focus on myself most times, just carrying the game by myself. Like when I
yeah,
play like a solo lane or just ADC, I try to carry as much as I can. And like a perfect example of this is in my match history.
mm-hmm.
Just earlier on today, I played ADC and I carried my team. Like I'm doing so well. I got so many kills, but we still lose. and I just don't know what's wrong. Like, I mean, I try to do as much as I could,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. Which game is that, by the way? I'm scrolling through here right now.
That Corky game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it. So you went like 18-7. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, sometimes you're gonna get that, But like immediately after it, like the same day, you went like 11-9 in the next game with Caitlyn and won that one.
yeah,
So that's the thing. Like you went 18-7 and 17 on Corky in your defeat, right? And you're 11-9 in the victory.
yeah, that was definitely a team carry.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like if you're going 18-7 and you're doing that on like a consistent basis at that kind of thing, you're doing mostly fine. I've had some diamond players who will kind of jokingly tell me in some of these games that like I should never have more than 5 deaths in a game. So I mean, like there are little things that you can always pick on to improve.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
not
could definitely
yeah.
improve myself.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not seeing your CS just off of match history, but it's fine.
No,
Um,
yeah, my CS is like, uh, how do I say this?
yeah.
Like, it's mostly all right. If I have like a free lane, pretend I have a free lane. I just my CS is around, around like 85
Mhm.
at 10. But what happens is I have good CS in lanes. Like when I play, like my favorite champion is Vayne. So when I play her, I just do well in CSing.
Yeah.
But because I play Vayne and I like to carry, I always go for those early aggressive moves,
Mhm.
and that just hits me in the CS department.
Yeah. And I mean, it's gonna happen. Like I do separate coaching. I can help you uh, on mechanics and farming and trading in lane if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, I mean that's really not, I guess, the major point of what I'm trying to get here. Like I think attitude by itself can be a huge component in a person's ranked progress and anxiety too. And I think a lot of the time it's because the focus is put on winning the game instead of just playing the game and focusing on like your individual performance.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Um, so I mean, like, in your experience, just sort of focusing on like two things. One being just raw attitude or approach to the game, but also the second being like anxiety. Do you suffer any kind of like ranked or ladder anxiety?
The only kind of anxiety that I experience is like, when you're on that last game before you get demoted.
Yeah.
That's the one that really counts.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I used to have a thing where like my hands would shake in major team fights. Like, I would have like the hardest time in a lot of these games.
Uh, yeah, I don't really have that. Like when I guess like I don't want to say like because I'm definitely not a professional or anything like that. But when I play my favorite role, which is ADC, I'm just used to all the chaos going around, and so I guess you could say that I'm like completely focused on the game.
Yeah.
But again, I'm focused on winning.
Yeah. And I think that was the major point I wanted to make with this lesson. I mean, I know you've got like exams tomorrow, and I kind of just wanted to do this quickly. Um, but yeah, this is like a minor thing that I think a lot of people can benefit from, yourself included. But I do offer coaching, directly on mechanics, and I can do replay analysis and work with you on map awareness. I also do a lot of like CSing in lane, how to trade certain lane matchups, that kind of thing. So if you're interested, like when you don't have exams looming, feel free to sign up for like an actual full session. We can do mechanics. I just something you said when you messaged me about I guess that attitude and that kind of tilt really kind of struck a chord with me. So I'd wanted to kind of do like a little mini session here just on like attitude and approach to ranked.
And like I always make this mistake with my attitude. It always seems like throughout the game I seem lightheaded. I seem like cool about my teammates' mistakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it just like randomly like I'll just hit a point where like enough mistakes gets to the point where I just can't, and I'll say something, and it'll just like I truly believe that this is true, but I never can follow it myself. I can never follow myself when you play angry or when you play frustrated. You don't play at your best.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I just need to keep my head cool.
Yeah. Another rule I have just on that note is I have a 3 loss rule. It sounds like you don't play enough to really implement it, but if I ever lose 3 games in a row, I will force myself to quit League for the day. I don't know if you have that rule or if that rule would help you, but I think anybody who goes on tilt would probably benefit from this rule. Um, like if you drop a couple games and like it's getting bad, usually 3 games in a row is my cutoff.
Yeah, I have like two rank games. Is what I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. um, Another thing, like, because you'd mentioned snapping points, like the mute function. Do you use that any?
Not recently. I haven't used it recently, actually. I'm glad you.
Yeah. Mute is such a great thing.
Yeah.
The other day I had a support Gragas, and this is up in mid gold. Um, I had a support Gragas lock in who took Barrier Ignite for summoner spells. This guy's like 5th pick. I'm 99% sure the guy's trolling.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games where you're sitting there like, maybe I should dodge this. Like, is the 3 LP loss I would take for this like, you know,
Yeah. Worth
probably
it.
gonna be worth it? And I'm sitting here like, no, I think I can do this. And
And you snap.
this game was terrible. It wasn't even that I snapped; it was the flip side, right? So this Gragas keeps going in, like not even making plays kind of thing, but we're talking just blind, non-stop aggression that gets him killed.
Yeah.
Enemy team has a blitzcrank, and I think this guy got pulled into tower like twice before 5 minutes or something. And dude starts flaming me. Like, oh, you're not following up on on my engages, all this kind of thing. And it got bad. Like, I'm pretty sure the dude started telling me to kill myself by about the 6 or 7 minute mark into this game.
Oh.
And like that negativity just like went through the team. And it was a pretty positive team minus this one troll pick, right? Like, next thing you know, all of a sudden the top laner is flaming people,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
your jungler's flaming, and the worst part to me is when it like carries over into all chat.
Oh my God.
Cause
Yeah.
then, like, no matter what you say in all chat, the enemy team just knows you're fighting. Like you might as well just tell them, by the way, here's your free win. I've never seen anything productive said in all chat. Like
Oh.
you're either trolling, you're like, hello or whatever, but there's nothing productive you can actually say to the enemy. So, yeah.
I'm actually super glad that you said that because
Yeah.
just earlier on today, I was thinking like something like that, but I was thinking, when you do well in lane, for some reason, when I do well in lane, when I stomp my lane,
Yeah.
my other lanes seem to like follow up and like do not like stomp, but they do well as well, you
Yeah.
know? And then when you do bad and you even show a little bit of negativity, it just ruins the whole game.
Mhm.
That's my experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy, like how just the smallest things that can set somebody off really snowball, and it's because the game is a high stress environment. Like, I'll go back to the main point, which is too many people like play the game solely to win it, and when you do that, like you're gonna get angry when things don't go exactly how you plan. So,
Yeah, I have another question.
yeah,
Like when I played to better myself, like in that Corgi game, I like when I said I lost.
yeah,
I don't understand though. Like I don't understand because like sometimes I can carry perfectly fine, but sometimes my team,
yeah.
I just can't carry my team, and I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I don't know. I feel like I did everything right, you
Well,
know?
maybe you did. I mean, I didn't see the game, so I can't
Yeah.
be sure, right? But let's say 2 situations. You either did or you didn't. And so maybe you played everything out perfect. Maybe you roamed, and maybe the other four people on your team were just like unable to get it together, or maybe they're on tilt or having a bad day, you know? Like, it happens. I'm looking at the Corky game, like, it looks like, I'm not sure if that's a mid. Yeah, that's a mid Heimerdinger that went like 5, 6, and 19. Your Nami, your support went like 4 and 14. But you and J4, like, J4 has 16 kills.
Yeah, I'm actually super glad that you point out J4 because I honestly feel that J4, even though me and him are doing the best, he was the sole reason. I don't want to say sole reason, but he was the reason that we pretty much lost the game
Hmm.
because himself was a negative person in that game. I
Yeah.
didn't. I barely said anything in that game because Nami was actually my duel partner, and I didn't want to like show negativity in front of my duel partner just like that.
Yeah.
And so he made a bad play, and they ended up getting an inhibitor. One inhibitor leads to two inhibitors. Two inhibitors leads to the game, and that was pretty much it. So even though he did perfectly fine, not perfectly fine, but even though he did well, he kind of threw the game for everyone. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, I've spectated some of my students, like, where one bad team fight or one bad play can honestly, like, throw the game. It just, like, throws the whole team synergy out of whack. Like, you know, everything goes pretty even until, like, that 30, 40-minute mark. And then one dude just gets caught out of position. And it snowballs so fast, man. But, yeah, it looks like this game kind of was pretty even until, like, about this 21, 22-minute mark. And then you guys took, like, a pretty serious lead.
I'm sure we did because at that point in time, I thought to myself, "We have this game." I even said it out loud.
Yeah. Like, there's a fight, and then all of a sudden, like, at 32 minutes, there's a swing back in their favor. But, like, by the end of this game, you guys have, like, a 4K gold lead. I don't know. You guys had, yeah, 3,500 gold lead at the end of the game.
Just kind of cringe-worthy to think about that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it really is just about team play. And, like, if you're 18 and 7, you've clearly done a lot of work, right? And I see a lot of people who will win lane all the time, but maybe they aren't roaming. They're not making plays. Like, maybe you're not, you know, contributing to vision control or, you know, transitioning your advantage to your teammates. And then maybe you do just win lane, and maybe you do group up at the right times, but maybe your team fight positioning is terrible, you know? I'm not saying it is, but, like, these are actual problems that really could happen, you know? Like, there are a lot of small things. And I keep coming back to, like, the G-Base statistic of, like, if you do your job right and focus on, you know, just handling your end of things, the only thing that can affect you is the other 4 people on your team. Meanwhile, the enemy team will have 5 people who, if they're not you, could be just a coin flip, you know? Like, they're either going to do their job or not. And so I really like that statistic he had where it's like, as long as you take care of you, you've only got a chance to have 4 bad people on your team, whereas the enemy has a chance to have 5 bad people on theirs. So,
Yeah, I think I fully understand why people say ELO, and myself included. I think I fully understand why I say it as well. Um, I think it's just when I mean ELO hell, when I say ELO hell, I just mean I do well. I mean, I fully. I'm not trying to sound cocky or trying to sound better than I really am, but I think that I at least deserved silver one.
yeah.
But you know, I just I just can't close the games. I can't win the
Yeah.
games, even when I do well. Even when I try my hardest,
Yeah.
even when I stomp, it doesn't matter what I do. I can't do it, and then it reflects on my teammates. Then the negativity comes in, tilting, demoting. It all just piles up.
I'm actually really glad you said that statement, because it's a statement I've heard a couple times too with people who come to me for coaching. Is this like, I deserve to be in like X elo, whether it's, you know, bronze 1 or silver 5 or gold or platinum even. Like, I've heard a bunch of different variations on it, you know, working with people. But I keep coming back, like, maybe you have the skills to be, you know, gold 5, silver 1.
Yeah.
Like I totally could buy that. I'm not gonna dispute that at all. Um, but I keep coming back like to you only deserve what you've put in the work to get, and like until you're there, like it's just really hard to make that statement, you know?
Yeah. You can't say you're as good and then
Yeah.
not there.
Cause I mean the other thing is
Except,
like, say I do believe you, you know, and I think I do. Like this is a great game. Like you ended that game with 409 CS in a 55-minute game.
yeah.
That's crazy good for an 80 carry. Like, and given this kind of performance and some of the other performances I've seen in your match history, like I buy that you probably have the skills, to be up at silver 1, gold 5. But if that's true, then it really is just like grinding out the statistics and just kind of rolling with the punches until you've put in the work to be at the elo you deserve to be at, you know?
Yeah. Eventually I'll get there.
Yeah. And so like either you've put in the work or you don't have, or yeah, sorry, I'll rephrase that. Either you haven't got the skills that you say you have, or you just haven't put in the work, and that's kind of just how it is, you know. And
Mm.
I don't mean that to be insulting to you at
No, no,
all,
no. Of course not.
but
Of course not. I'm
yeah,
just taking every word you say as true.
yeah. I'm also looking at your ranked stats here. It looks like this is your first season in ranked,
Yeah, I started in season 4.
which is perfectly fine. Oh yeah, because we're in season 5 now. I guess as of tomorrow.
I actually I forgot to say this when you were mentioning how when you first started you were in bronze
Mm-hmm.
and the elo hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I first started, my provision games, I don't remember what they're called,
Uh huh.
professional, but I only won 2 out of 10 and I got placed in bronze too.
Yeah.
And that alone just like kind of gave me like a sucker punch, you know?
Yeah. That hurts. I've been there.
But
Like I placed into bronze 3 and then got demoted into bronze 4. Yeah.
but I like in a day I got to bronze 1.
Yeah.
But that struggle from bronze 1 to silver 5 was
Uh-huh.
like the worst I felt. It had to be at least 6 times that I went through my promotional, you know.
Yeah. But
And it
I
was
want to point out, like, you placed into somewhere you knew you were better than, right? Like, you placed into bronze 2 and only won, like, 2 of your 10 placement matches. And you're sitting there thinking, like, this hurts. Like, I'm better than that, you know?
yeah.
But the truth is, like, until you put in that work to get out of bronze and into silver, like, I don't think it's fair to say that you belong in silver, you know? Like, even though you had the skills, like, you still lost, like, 80 or 10 placement matches, you know?
Yeah.
So even if it was true, and clearly it is, that you didn't belong in bronze, like, it's on you, to, like, grind your way out of it. And I think the same's true for silver.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask that.
Yeah. It looks like you put in about, what is that, 170-ish games in ranked? Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here on LoL King. And I mean, part of what I'm seeing too is like, even on your normal wins, like you've got what, like 175 normal wins?
Around there, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, got
I think part of that might just be like an experience thing, you know? So, like, I think maybe your play is a little more inconsistent, and I think, like, the more you play, the higher up you're gonna get, you know? It'll
yeah,
be, whether it's, experience or just the pure statistics of it all. Like, if you truly do deserve to get there, you're just gonna climb there. And you're still gonna get better on the way, you know? I think the best attitude thing you can have is just to try and not let your teammates or your enemies affect you in any way. Just play the game for you, and like take a 5 or 10 minute break after each game and try and like assess what your big mistakes were and think of like how you could avoid them next time.
yeah. I'm glad you said don't worry about your teammates because
Yeah.
I wanted to actually. Am I wrong when I? All right, I probably am wrong because it just doesn't seem right. But am I wrong when, like, for instance, on the Corki game, my support kept on Alton. I mean, oh, this is the wrong game actually. My bad.
Hmm?
But like for instance, on one of my Janna games I played, I was playing Vayne, I believe, or I don't remember actually. But I had Janna support, and she kept on ulting and the enemy away after like I think like 8 times
Yeah.
already. And so around like the sixth time, I'm like, back to that snapping thing. I'm just like, come on, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like I tell her not to ult when they're dead, and she just keeps doesn't it, doesn't it, and keeps on doing it and doing it, and it's just like that. Things like little things like that just always get to me, and always like I feel
Yeah.
like they cost me the game, like things like that.
Well, I mean, so you really only have two options, you know? Like, I always say communication helps. Like, within reason, communication helps. So you can ask, and you can be like, hey, we should try and play this a little differently. And like you said, maybe you did. And then you get, she keeps making the same mistake, you know? Like, you ask, and it just isn't helping. So then, like, the next thing is once you kind of know that your support isn't going to change her behavior, then it's on you to try and, like, play around that. Because if you're talking multiple ults, like, first off, we're talking probably past the 10-minute mark, because
Hmm.
that's about the time an AD carry is going to hit level 6 anyway. It's around that 8 or 9-minute mark. So, and then you've got, what is it, a minute and a half cooldown basically on those ults. So if this happens 3 times, like, you're looking at the 15, 16-minute mark in the game. Like, at that point, maybe you should try and, like, leave the lane, make plays elsewhere, group up for a team fight. And you can kind of dictate the pace on that. Like, I don't know. That might not have been the best move, but there's usually always a way to sort of play around what your teammate is doing. And then at the end of the day, like, maybe she really is just that bad, you know? Like, and maybe you lose the game because of it. Maybe she gets caught out of position or whatever it is. And it could snowball a game. But if it happens, like, so be it. Like, it's part of just the random statistics of the game.
Yeah, I feel like the RNG gods are not with me, I'd say, because you know you roll the dice on your teammates, you roll the dice on your opponents, and I just feel that I'm always on like the bad end of it. I'm
Yeah.
always with the partnered with not the best of people,
Yeah.
and that's what happens to me. I get demoted and stuff. Like I feel like when I do well, when I climb, it's a streak.
Yeah.
It's not loss, win loss,
Yeah.
and I feel like I just get those lucky streaks. But
It could
uh,
just be an on day, like maybe it's on your attitude or your mechanics, And maybe those days when it seems like your support's really bad, those might just be your off days. Like I I don't know it enough, but at the end of the day, like it should be really like close to a 60% win ratio. I mean, that's the easy way to look at it.
yeah, mine's I don't know. Before I started playing 2 days ago, I believe it was like at 50.
Yeah. Well, all right, so the thing is, right? Like if it's 50-50, that means you're neither better nor worse than the people you're getting matched with, right?
Yeah.
And if it's 60, I think if you have a 60 or above win percentage, you can pretty safely say you either like are better than the elo you're in or are like in the process of climbing. Because it means you're doing your job, I think. If your win ratio is above 60%. Like, at least you're playing above the quality of people you're being matched into. So, but
Yeah,
you're
like
still gonna have like that 40% loss.
mhm.
Even if you are better than, silver 2, silver 4, wherever you're kind of at the moment. Like, you're still probably gonna lose 40% of your games, just because of things you can't control.
Yeah, I hear you.
So,
Like for instance, my friend.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm regretting it to this day still, but I played his like promotion games or whatever they're called. I played it with him,
Yeah.
and I guess on this day we got lucky or whatever because he lost 4 straight, and I queued up with him and we won 6.
Uh huh.
I'm in silver 3 at this point,
Yeah.
and he gets placed in silver 2,
Oh yeah.
and he just he lays it on me. Like I,
Oh, dude.
I'm like, play a couple rankings by yourself and see where
Yeah.
you end up. Because I mean, like honestly, I don't even know.
I had the same thing happen to me. Like, it was this season actually. Like, I had my tilt spree where I went from like silver 2 down to silver 5. And I'm feeling like the worst player ever of this game at this point. You know, I'm like, I should quit. I'm terrible. You know. And this buddy of mine does his ranked placement matches, and I think he won 9 out of 10 of them. And this is a friend that I knew this guy makes plenty of mistakes, you know? Like, it's a friend of mine that I feel like I'm better at the game than this guy is. And so I watch, and he plays some standard top lane champions. He plays a lot of Renekton, things like that. Um, and every game for like these 3 games of his that I spectate, he gets matched into things like Lucian top, where the Lucian clearly just had no idea what he was doing. Or, you know, things where it was clear that his enemy team was either fighting among themselves or, you know, falling apart. And I watched this guy go like 9 out of 10 placement match wins. Guy gets placed into silver 2, and I'm sitting there in silver 5 like I hate my life.
Yeah.
No joke, a week later, I went on, I think it was a 16 game winning streak in ranked,
Wow.
and climbed straight from silver 5 to gold 5.
Damn, I wish I had that.
I mean, yeah, that was crazy good RNG luck. Like,
Just to
I've
cover
never
that.
had better luck with ranked, right? Being fair, to put that in context, I was playing Tristana, like right as she was at that peak of power before she got nerfed in like 3 consecutive patches, I think it was, you know, just nonstop nerfs to Tristana. But I was able to climb straight up to gold on that. And I mean, maybe it's RNG, you know, but
You know, I want to talk about the thing that you said.
uh,
You just put in the work to it.
yeah.
I always think of this like, all right, so when you lose a game, or in my right now where I'm at,
Hmm.
if I lose a game or if I win a game, I lose around or gain like, uh, not a lot of it, not a lot. Like I get like 16,
Yeah.
and it's just like, Jesus Christ, like I'm gonna have to do this for years, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like I when you lose a couple games in a row and you're like at 10 LP.
Yeah.
You're just like, is it even worth it to play anymore? Because I mean, like, what's the point? I'm gonna have to win like 40 games just to get this level,
Yeah.
and I guess that's another factor in it.
I mean, part of it's your own attitude. Like, if you're sitting there and honestly asking yourself, like, is it worth it to keep playing right now? Like, if you're feeling, you know, down and out on things, like, you should probably take a break. I try and just shoot for like a couple games a day and keep like a pretty casual pace. Like, best advice I can give you is to try and keep it fun and keep it more about improving yourself, you know? And then the last piece of the puzzle is just to put in the work. If you keep at it, like, you're gonna get to where you belong.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like that's true, but
yeah.
like see something that happened to me earlier today.
Uh-huh.
Like after I won my last rank game with Lee Sin, I realized that I got placed into Silver 3 yesterday,
Yeah.
and I'm already about to climb out of Silver 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like now thinking about it, like now in like retrospect, and like away from like my in-game thoughts, I feel like I probably am around Silver 3, Silver 2 level of play. So instead of trying to rank up, I guess I should follow your advice, follow the advice of others, and just play for myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best you can do, you know? And then if you just keep playing at it and don't take it too seriously, like, and take a couple minutes after each game, like, look what you did wrong. How can I get better? Like, look for guides. Like, just keep looking for ways to improve what you're doing. And maybe you are at like a silver 3, silver 2 level, right? But if you keep kind of driving it home, keep like looking for new ways to get better, maybe you'll become like definitely silver 2 level of play, or maybe you could be silver 2 silver 1 level of play. Like it's just like little things, learning like a little bit better map awareness or how to trade a little bit better in lane. Like it adds up, and you'll find like maybe more often than not you start winning lanes that you used to lose. You start to like make more of an impact in team fights, or you find better ways of snowballing your advantages.
Yeah, just do better.
Yeah, and I
Like,
think that's the best way to do it. Like, and if you're taking it out on teammates, like great command slash mute all. It's a beautiful command. Use it when you got to. Like, usually if I see fighting in the team or whatnot, I'll just go ahead and mute things.
yeah, I wish I could think of like that more. But like
Yeah.
when I reached my peak of silver too, I honestly truly believe that the reason I even got that high was because it was near end of season
Yeah.
and that victorious or vicious, I don't even
Yeah,
anyway,
victorious.
that Morgana skin, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that tempted me so bad, and I wanted gold so
Yeah.
bad. I wanted that border.
I know that feeling. Like,
I was so goddamn close, but god damn it, I couldn't pass silver too. That's where my luck stopped.
oh yeah. I'm sorry to hear it, dude. Like, I know that's got to be rough. But yeah.
So I guess playing playing for that goal, I guess,
I
just
think
making
that's unhealthy. Like, and I think a lot of people do that. Like, I'm actually really glad now that I think about it that you brought up the end of season reward. Like, I think that's just a really, toxic way of justifying things for a lot of people. Like, then people feel like, oh, now I have to win. Like,
that's
I
how I
have to
felt.
win these games, otherwise I'm just gonna not get this reward.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just gonna, I think, make things more toxic for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's true. Like, I mean, I think people will get more flamey stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I know in my case, I just had my mindset on that goal.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't play any normals.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care about people arguing in chat. I wouldn't care about anything. Like, if we lost a game, then we lost a game. It wasn't thinking about the past game, like, which is bad because like you said, you should think about your mistakes. But
Yeah.
at that time, it wasn't thinking about the past games. It wasn't thinking what I did wrong. It wasn't trying to get better. It was
I want
move
victorious
on.
Morgana,
Yeah, it was
Like,
move on.
yeah.
It was I need to get the skin. This is my time limit. Bad game, whatever, forget it. Which
Yeah.
I think made me not tilt that much because I just didn't care about the game. Like each game was in the past, and I was just focused completely on winning.
Yeah.
Which I mean, made me a better player. I won't even lie because I reached my peak with it. But at the same time, I could have been better. Like those games that I actually lost,
Yeah.
I might have been better if I just stopped doing that.
hmm I don't know. Some of my best experiences with the game, right, have been when I'm less tunneled in on winning and I'm focused. Like, I've watched a guide recently, a skill capped guide, I think, on zone of control, And it was all about, like, how to zone out your enemies in lane and establish, like, these safe areas of control where you can deny your enemy experience and gold. Like, it's a pretty core concept for lanes. Like, I think it's one that not a lot of people think about, but, like, the more I looked into it, I queued up this whole game just to sort of try and apply that pressure. And I, like, crushed my lane phase, right?
Hmm.
And we wound up losing the game, but when I finished that game, I was so happy because I felt like I'd applied what I'd learned, what I was trying to do. My whole goal in the game was just to, like, work on zoning my enemy out, like, establishing control in the lane. And I did that. So
Yeah.
even when I lost the game, I had done what I wanted to do in the game. And I don't know, like, you should set smaller goals for like what you're doing in each game. Like, maybe
Yeah.
you want to work on a champion or hit a certain CS number at a certain time. Like, having little goals, I think, can help you keep your attitude, keep your cool.
Yeah. I was talking about that. Like I have in game, I have like this passive mode, which is CS.
hmm
I I have like this thing where I do like I don't look at my CS until a certain amount of time, until like laning phase is over or until something's over. Then I take a peek at it and I realize if I do well or not because I realize like when I'm constantly thinking about my CS, I just do worse and I don't
Yeah.
do as well. But another thing I want to talk about was I just realized that I think that where I think that I'm better than I where I am right now, that I'm better, like I don't deserve this. I think it's because of my quote unquote mechanics. I just the fact that I can like win lane
Yeah.
and because I've faced like all right, so in every normal game I always check my enemy lane's rank and I
Uh-huh.
always realize that most of the time it's like me or below. And when it's below, I kid you not, I always say to myself like I always say something like I don't deserve the win or that was nothing, like that was a
Yeah.
warm up.
Yep.
But then when it's above, I just look at it. I'm like, how badly did I win that lane and why did I win it? And it's like I think I can win lane.
Yeah.
I just can't win the game.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I've done the same thing. Like usually I don't advise people look up the elo of their opponents cuz it gets in their head. But I've done it. I've played that game, looked at, gone into a normal, looked and saw that, oh crap, I'm up against like a diamond 4, 80 carry. And then you'll like crush it. But, especially if it's normal, like maybe that dude's playing with his friends, like maybe he's a top lane or a jungle main, you know? Like it's hard to judge the quality of your opponent just based off of their elo.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I think that is the not the sole reason, but I think that's like the biggest reason why I feel I deserve to be in
Yeah.
better rank, just because mechanics, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because, I don't know. I've beaten a Diamond 4 guy in lane before. It doesn't mean I belong in Diamond. Like,
Yeah,
I think I'm pretty close to where I belong. I might be able to climb. Like, I'm focusing on, like, working on my core mechanics right now. I just, until I put in the work, I belong where I am, you know?
yeah. I guess that's
So.
where I should. That's what I should think.
Yeah, and I mean when you do that, like it takes the pressure off of you, to be the playmaker, to like carry yourself. Like I think it's better just to have the attitude of if I work on doing things right and, improving, I will naturally carry myself to where I belong.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'll probably call that the end of things here unless you had any more questions.
Um. I mean, the only question I could think of now is just in total, with all this information that you've given me, what should my key mindset be next game? Better myself?
Yeah. So I mean, all right. Here's how I would just in general summarize the attitude you want to take. You want to go in. You want to first off think of what your weaknesses are right now. Just like what your weak point is in the game. Maybe it's map awareness or vision control, like maybe it's team fight positioning, just pick a small one component thing. It doesn't have to be like the sole reason you have ever lost every game, but pick one thing you think you want to work on, right? Go into your next game and think, don't even think it's about winning, but try and do that one thing. Like maybe it's, establish a zone of control or hit like 80 CS at 10 minutes. But go in and do that one thing. And if you do it, find another thing and just keep going with that mindset. But, win or lose at the end of it, come out, assess what you did right, what you did wrong. Like, try and think of what your problems were in that game. Take a good, like, 5 or 10 minutes after each game and look at sort of what happened. Like, what can I do better? What did I mess up on? Like, look for your weaknesses, right? And then try and address them in the next game you play. And
Yeah.
if you do that, like maybe keep some notes if you want to do it that way, or record your replays. Like there are a bunch of different ways to approach it, and I don't think it matters which one you take. But instead of focusing on like I need to win, focus on what are my weaknesses and how can I fix them. And then just play to enjoy it, you know? And then just keep playing.
Yep. So next game, I already have my mindset set up. I'm just gonna go with the flow,
Yeah.
get my CS up, and just don't worry about other people.
Yeah. Don't talk in all chat under any circumstances, and mute anybody who starts being toxic. Like,
All right.
'cause I had the realization today, like they're never gonna say anything productive. You might as well just shut them out the second they start flaming, and then
Yeah.
just focus on your game.
Yeah. The second I see my enemy enemy flame,
Yeah,
I'm just like, we're probably gonna win.
yeah,
If
but
by the time like whenever a team starts flaming, like my team included, like I just know that this game's gonna either be tough as shit or it's just we're gonna lose.
yeah,
Like, uh,
yeah.
yeah, I know what I'm gonna do next. I know what I'm. I think I know what I'm gonna do next game. Only time will tell, and I'll have to get back to you.
All right, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Sign up for another coaching session sometime. Like I'd be more than happy to dive into mechanics or anything else really. But I figured we could do this quick session because attitude is something I've really wanted to coach people on for a while, and I think this will help you. Like it's a
Yeah,
little more subtle than showing you like a CS drill or a trading drill, but I think having the right mindset when you go into ranked games can be just as important as having the right mechanics.
yeah. I just want to say that thank you so much for coaching me or giving me this advice. I think even because you're not, showing me exactly what to do in the game, the way you explain everything to me makes me look at the game a totally different way. And I guess right now I feel like I should play rank, but I'm not gonna play it.
Nah, especially
Nah,
because you got exams
yeah,
tomorrow.
I got 2 exams to do,
Yeah,
but
but once you finish your exams, man, go hit up a ranked game. I think you'll
yeah,
see the results.
yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
thank you for all the nice things, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
You really helped me, and I'll get back to you.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, see you around, dude.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Thanks.